Hello. So I know it's been a bit of time since I posted last, but things have been crazy busy here. I'm coming down to the end of my contract actually, so looking at transferring my iqama and staying in the country, which is a good sign for anyone obviously looking to move over here. But something really cool happened last week and I managed to capture it. It is not my usual kind of content, but I was asked to join a radio station, a talk show here in Jeddah. And so it's called Saudia Radio FM, obviously sort of globally recognized, renowned station that it is. But it was an amazing experience with two really, really cool guys. One South African called Andre and the other one a Saudi called Nabil. What we talked about actually was the state of the fitness industry here in Jeddah, in Saudi. And so woven into that is a fair bit on just general life here, which I thought I would share so you can get a bit more of a glimpse into three guys chatting, plus my girlfriend, she was there in the background, just chatting about life here and how things get on. So it's not quite the in-depth, educational, informative style that I have done previously, but I hope you get a lot from it, or at least it's vaguely interesting. Funnily enough, actually, this Saturday coming up, I've been invited on again, and that is going to be purely about my experience here in Saudi. So that is going to be something very, very interesting, something very relevant to anyone who watches my channel. And then, if that wasn't exciting enough, I might even be hosting my own show on the radio channel. So exciting times, definitely. But I thought I would just give you a heads up before I go into the radio show, obviously recorded. You'll see how awkward as fuck I am. But anyway, it's the first time I'm gonna be a natural, maybe at some point. Thank you, I hope you enjoy. And as always, any questions, shoot me a DM, ping me a message in the comments, whatever it might be. And good luck on your journey.
Cheeky man. What?
Yo. Come.
Look, we're in black and blue today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of The Man Cave with me, Nabil Sultani, and
I quit.
Listen, you know what? He actually said we're not going to go on until Dre is ready.
Voila?
Yes.
Well, okay. Because I was going to change your DJ name to another team. Yeah, so you better watch it. Anyway, hi guys, it's Coach Dre, and as always, DJ Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow. If you don't yet know why he is DJ Black and Yellow,
I think they do.
Come on, you need to know. One of the biggest teams in Saudi, for goodness sake. Come on, you got to know that.
No names.
Well, we got to be neutral, right?
We have to.
Do you support a football team in Saudi?
I don't. I used to when I was younger.
Really?
The blue team, Hilal.
Oh my goodness!
When I was younger, لما كنت صغير.
So who do you now want to remove from the radio, right? Okay, bye Nabil.
He's like, chop my head off.
Your mic doesn't work. My mic isn't working, everybody. So yeah, welcome to the show. We're very, very excited because we have a very, very cool guest. Unfortunately, he brought the enemy, but we won't say anything.
Listen, we tried to, block them at the gate, or block her.
Security needs to be checked here. Come on, man, it's the man cave.
But I think she was in the trunk. That's why she was able to get through.
Probably, because we found to search very thoroughly. So you're probably very confused right now. If you want to join the conversation, you guys should know the number by now, 012-6484-691.
And we'll be back right after this.
Easy.
Woo. We're already nervous and you didn't talk.
Why?
Right, done. Good.
Come on, it's so easy.
I'm gonna order myself an Uber.
Just joking.
No, sorry. We have to. I'm sorry.
We apologize already because of our... You're not going to be on the radio station? I will not allow you. And we are back in the man cave with me, Coach Dre.
And Nabil Sultani.
And as always, DJ Black and Yellow, Mr. Abdullah.
He likes it.
He loves it.
It's going to stick.
Come now.
All right.
So, yeah.
So as Dre said at the beginning of the show, we have a special guest. The mic is yours. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Peter Kaminsky. I mean, I don't know where to start. You guys,
You know what, dude? You know yourself better than we know. So just tell
I
everyone
don't know.
who
You
you
did
are, and
say
what
you
you do.
stalked my Instagram quite badly.
That's really weird, but yes, kind of, suppose. So don't look at me like that.
You slid. You
slid into your
the
DMs.
Absolutely. But no, I am a personal trainer. I've been in Saudi Arabia for 3 years now, nearly 3 years. So like 2 years, 11 months, and yeah, I work at a gym, private facility, and life is good. Obviously, good enough to keep me here for 3 years, and well, long into the future. I think I'm looking at my partner, the female who's allowed in the room, rolling her eyes as we speak. But yeah, we're setting up a life here. It's good.
Fantastic. So where are you from?
I'm from London, United Kingdom.
Nice.
And you were in the UK before you came to Saudi?
I was. Saudi, believe it or not, is the first country I've ever lived in abroad. I always wanted to live abroad. Never thought it would be the Middle East, ever. I'd never been to the Middle East. And then I got an offer, and I thought, experience, opportunity, why not money? Why not?
Of course.
Let's do it. And,
But how did this opportunity come about? Because it's not easy, you know, all of a sudden, all right, Saudi Arabia, here I come.
It's not, and I don't like, in the Western world, as you know, sort of, Dre, you kind of get stereotypes. You know, the Middle East, it's kind of just Dubai, people sort of perceive it as, and that couldn't be obviously farther than the truth. And so a friend introduced me to another friend who was being a head coach in the gym over here, being opened, launched, and I was between jobs at the time. I was actually working in advertising for 10 years back in London. So I made the switch, I followed my passion, and well, pulled the trigger, really, and then came over here 6 months. Corona happens. So I've seen a lot of change, and obviously for the better, as I think you'd probably agree.
Yes, definitely. You've been in advertising for 10 years?
10 years.
You're not older than 25.
No,
What is this?
He's not even 15. Come now.
32 years old. You can kind of see.
You're older than us?
So
You're older than both of us? Come now.
No, you're kidding. So
That's the Botox for him.
I intentionally got the fade, the haircut today, so my grey hairs, you can't see them. So yeah, 32 years young.
Yes, you are. All right. And are you a certified coach or trainer?
I am. So there's sort of two sides to my business, one being the in-person PT, and another is the online training. So something that I find is absolutely booming, particularly in Saudi, and that is such a cool wave to be part of. You know, the flux of women getting involved with training, wanting to move, joining gyms, and obviously helping guys, males who sort of haven't yet managed to find what excites them about training. And that is where I feel I can add that sort of, or bring my passion to them and sort of fuel that fire for them.
It's nice because two things. It's also the first time I ever lived out of South Africa, coming to Saudi, interestingly enough. But the second thing is, we both know Abdulaziz Murdad. I got to give a shout out to this young man. I'm sure he is,
or he's training.
the way he speaks about how you've trained him and coached him and just changed his life in terms of fitness is a reflection, perhaps, on the brand, the person, you. And I think the way he speaks so highly about you shows the kind of personal touch you put into what you do. And I think that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted you to come on. Because it's a lot of people come here purely for the sake of money, exposure, and they forget the other person on the other end.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because some people say, I've trained 1,000 people. Some trainers have that as their credential. I have 1,000 clients that I've trained. Okay, great. But show me the kind of like personality of the person you've trained. Where are all these people's profiles? Where are these success stories? It's the unspoken things, and he speaks so highly, and I'm so thankful we get to actually share that with everyone.
For sure. I mean, he came to me as a 16-year-old boy. I saw myself in him, if I'm honest. You know, slouched shoulders, low confidence. Well, for me, it was training to get women. How wrong!
Look at this
wrong
look.
I was.
Aye.
But no, like just instilling that confidence. His posture changed. He sort of started lifting more. He's made it a lifestyle, and I think that is the key thing for people, is to make it a sustainable lifestyle that they can then go and do themselves outside of the gym, because they're only with me for 4 hours a week. There's a lot of other times for them to play around and potentially mess things up. But when you can instill that hunger, drive to change your body, to get stronger, it's such a rewarding feeling, other than I train so and so, I earn this amount of money. It's such a satisfying part of the job, something I never got in advertising, I must say.
I agree with you completely, because I actually have a client that I train PT as well, and because we built such a good connection, if he doesn't come, if he's going to miss a session, he actually texts me, and then he tells me, all right, what could I do at home?
For sure.
And I send him, a full workout at home, and he actually does it. So this brings even more satisfaction than training him at the gym. You know that he's committed to it. And this is really what you get out of it.
It's the accountability that isn't there because it's a financial incentive. Do you understand what I mean? Because the accountability comes, well, you're paying me for a service, I must give you that service, right? If we scrap that out the way sometimes, there becomes this incredible interpersonal relationship between you and no longer a client. It's like you said, a younger brother, a friend, a person you see yourself in, and you realize you now have a purpose in making this person's life better. And I can tell you, Abdulaziz went from, like you said, slightly not that confident to walking with proud shoulders, walking confidently at school. And I have really seen a huge change, and he's become a really strong figure, which is a good thing. And it's great to know it came from the confidence that you instilled in him through his training.
The biggest change for me with him was changing from a t-shirt to a vest. That's when the arms are out.
Sun's out, guns out.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
But that changes his entire character and his entire path.
Life. His life.
It does.
And that for me has been such a big thing, being a 16-year-old playing computer games, messaging my friend on World of Warcraft at the time, being like, Jed, do you want to join a gym? Because we were thinking we had a holiday to Greece coming up, and wanted to wear a vest, or topless even. God, I lost my train of thought now. These microphones are so intimidating.
But tell us how you got started in your fitness journey, because you said that you were playing computers and your friend...
insecurities, for sure, for sure. And that's something that, I want to sort of get into other people who I train, because if you don't have a solid why as to why you're training, other than I want a six-pack, I want to get girls, or whatever it might be, then that's not going to be something that stays with you. It's going to be, a quick flash in the pan, 6 weeks, and you're bored of it, and the results aren't coming quick enough. I mean, this having trained yourself, trained other people. If you don't get into that reason why, which often is tied to something mental health related, then you're not really going to make sustainable change.
It's the you want to train, which is emotional, versus you need to train, which is because it's going to make your life better. For me, when I used to coach and train people, I would put them through the ringer to the point of like throwing up exhaustion. Not because I'm trying to...
You're mean.
I was mean, but I'm not going to waste...
Get stuff on the power.
I'm not going to waste my time, nor am I going to waste your time by taking on someone who's doing this for a laugh. Because ultimately, I want to train you that you don't need me anymore.
Exactly.
But I want you to train with me. But I want you to realize that this is for you, not for me, not for the people around you. You need this. Because a lot of people want to look good. People want to be successful. People want to be a better version of themselves. But then they wake up one morning and they're like, I don't want, it's too hard, it's too difficult, it's too much effort. But when you're lying there on your back, looking at the roof, you're literally wanting to pass out. And you're like, but why am I so unfit? How did I get here? You don't wake up one day with a belly. You don't wake up one day with this situation. This is a life decision. You got to realize now I'm at that point where I can continue down this path, or I can reinvent myself and be the best version of myself. And I think that is something we as coaches need to realize. It's not about the commission. It's not about the fame and fortune. It's about that person's life will be changed forever if you can trigger that crossroads for them and they take the right Root.
And that's exactly what it is. It's triggering something inside of someone, deep inside of someone, that is their fuel, that they remember when, you know, times get tough, or they're invited out to, I don't know, Albake or something. And, you know, it keeps them on the straight and narrow, because, you know, ultimately everything we do in life can be related to your discipline when it comes to fitness. And you can't cheat fitness. That no matter how much money you have, no matter what family you're born into, nothing, you cannot cheat fitness. You can't cheat the reps, the sets, you know, the time, the nutrition. You can't cheat it.
Yeah.
Health over wealth, anytime, any day. Well, it's time for us to take a short musical break. When we come back, we're going to continue with the story of Pete. If you want to ask him any question or ask us any questions, give us a call on 012-6484-691. We'll be back right after this.
You see, it's easy when the conversation starts to flow, right? It's just, again, I know exactly what it is. It's this, because you're like the sound
Don't
like.
Look at the mic, just look at us.
Yeah.
It's normal conversation.
Listen, the mic as close as you can to you.
You're doing perfect.
Yeah, you're fine. My mic for some reason is a little bit echoey and stuff, but.
Why?
Just
Behind
vibing.
Behind the scenes.
Except you're not in it.
No, I don't.
You're behind the camera, behind the scenes.
Or we could put the music and start dancing.
Sorry, I'm like I have a lot in common with you. I was a night elf hunter in.
No.
What,
Yeah,
sorry?
for very long.
You're on the alliance side,
Yeah.
weren't you?
But I.
There's a night elf hunter.
It's a
you're
Warcraft
game.
thing. It's a
I
Warcraft
see,
thing.
okay,
It's a World of
I see.
Warcraft thing. Like I was. See, I
Step back.
See, I was different, right? I was brought up to be an athlete. So I spent my entire high school career being an athlete. So I was
Same
was
here,
me.
but that was my secret.
The thing is, I was half the year athletics, half the year rugby. So my entire persona to everyone at school was jock.
Really?
And my entire friendship group were the cool guys, the sporty people, the skateboarders, the cool characters, right? For me, I was this big guy who didn't care about any of that kind of stuff. I was into comics, I was into anime, I was into
Porn.
Porn.
Sorry.
Hentai, isn't it?
I didn't mention this creep.
I love me a good hentai.
Listen to this.
Love me a good.
Oh my goodness.
We're green,
Anyway,
we're green.
yeah, thank goodness. Okay, yeah, you hearing this, the behind the scenes
I
stuff.
just want to be involved in the man cave.
Oh, you don't? You don't want a mic?
Yeah, and World of Warcraft was like my go-to. I lived in that game.
Welcome back to the man cave or to the gaming show. I'm not sure yet.
So here's the thing, right? And we used to do the show via Instagram Live before I took an hiatus from social media. I got rid of everything. And why don't you put yours on?
I don't know. I just stopped.
See, you're learning from me. Kind of getting
I'm not
rid
very
of it.
active. That's why I'm not like you.
Same, I was terrible at it. That's why I got off it anyway, because I was like, God, this is such hard work for 1,000 people to like me. What? Come on. Anyway, so in the break, we were just talking, and it's amazing when you kind of meet people who have similar interests, but when you look at them, you think to yourself, like, what? So we were talking about World of Warcraft. So if you are a World of Warcraft gamer here in Saudi, give us a call, 012-6484-691. Tell us, what is your class? Are you still playing? Are you excited for the expansion? Blah, blah, blah. Nabil's looking at me going like...
I need to be tutored in this.
What? So if you're a gamer in general... but we had a gamer on. We had
Super Mario Brothers. That's what I used to play. Yeah, I'm that old.
But listen, have you seen guys do speed runs of that game?
I have no
There are
clue what you're talking
some
about.
incredibly intense levels where it's literally like you've got to time every jump, and it's incredible. But yeah, so... before we get into that, before I complete sidetrack, and
Yeah.
so we are speaking to
By
Pete.
the way, we have a guest.
Oh, yeah, we do. Oh, come now, forgot about that. So we have Pete in the studio, and I'm super, super excited to have him
And the
on.
question is it Pete or is it Peter?
Apparently, if we want to speed things up, we were told just to remove the R, and that was not by him, that was by his significant other. So, so anyway, so you hear us start calling him Peter, you know we're trying to fill up time, apparently, with the other comments. So yeah. We're very excited to have him in. This is a guy who has literally changed his life through fitness and is taking that same passion and that same story and that same drive, and he's brought it to Saudi, and he's changing lives. And we want you to know about that, because one of the things that myself and Nabil are very passionate about, and you should know that from before the Man Cave, is health and fitness. And the one thing we've always wanted to promote is to people to stop focusing on the fitness and start looking more at the lifestyle. Because the fitness part with a good, healthy lifestyle will change your entire life moving forward. Where fitness can become sometimes a bit of a one-track mind, like you're saying, abs and all that kind of stuff. When you realize that you want to be healthier at 60 than what you were at 25, if you want to be able to live a good, healthy life with no inflammation, no injuries, no issues, no, lifestyle disease, it's good to take it seriously.
Too late about the injuries, but okay.
For both of us. Oh my goodness. No, but come now, yours is, let's not make it sound as if it was a silly thing. This is hard. If you want to know the hardest working person in any gym, this man next to me is the hardest working man in the gym. You could be 21, you could be the fittest guy there. He will come and he will kick your butt.
Not yet. I have to recover first. But
come
yes.
on, you were one of the you were one of the hardest
Just
working
so you know,
people.
I tore 3 tendons in my shoulder
No.
3 months ago. So I'm doing
similar to me. I tore my pec here. That wasn't fun.
Ow.
Heavy bench.
Let's get into this then. Tell us.
That's a good question. Like injury prevention and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
of course. I mean, because you're a coach, you don't want to see your students get injured, but you also want to push them to the limit.
And I think that's something I'm really proud of is my programming, not just by session by session. It's looking at the training blocks over 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and the progressions that come out of that. Because what I see out here, which is sort of, you kind of see it in other parts of the world, but it's really prevalent here, is just jumping around and, I mean, I can't swear, but injuring yourself, really. There's a total... I'm generalizing here, but I see there's a lot of, best way to say this without offending people.
Offend people, go ahead.
Offend people.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, there's lots of just, Instagram workouts, just stuff people are doing because it looks cool or because their trainer tells them to do it, and it doesn't actually give them any real benefit at all. And so for me, I'm all about, proper strength and conditioning. It's boring at times, it really is. But as I said earlier, you do the sets, you do the reps, it's consistent and you will get results. Going to a class, jumping on a box when you shouldn't even be jumping, is going to ruin your knee, is going to do all sorts of stuff. And for me, it's there needs to be some, trainers need to do better. If you're running a class, great, you're a good hype man or hype woman, but you need to know how to structure a class so you're getting the body moving as it should. You need lunges, squats, hinges, push, pulls, rotations, all that kind of stuff to make sure you're not actually creating further imbalances in your clients. Because at the end of the day, they come there to see you, for you to train them, for you to, get them healthier, fitter, stronger. And so if you are not doing that as a trainer, what's your purpose there? Hype people up for an hour, leave them broken?
That is honestly a big problem, because I see it in some gyms here in town where they hype the class and half of the class don't even know how to do the basic movements.
Yes, they shouldn't be doing it. They shouldn't be in that class.
And so you're like, I'd be training honestly, and I start cringing my face. I'm like, this guy's gonna get, and you see injuries that shouldn't have happened.
No, but that's where myself and Nabil, we kind of fall into the category of where CrossFit that's where the bad name of CrossFit kind of unfortunately was kind of dragged through the mud, where people who were getting their level ones, going into gyms, training people without the idea of understanding exactly what we're trying to do. And we see that people say, but people go do CrossFit, they injure themselves. Someone's doing clean and jerks, they're doing these movements, butterfly pull-ups. What's the point of this? We understand the point of that, but then you get people who have the pseudo understanding of what's going on. They start coaching and training people. And I mean, the one thing here that is very popular, and like you said, it's one of the reasons why I so badly wanted to have a platform to talk about health and fitness, are these Mickey Mouse trainers who look fantastic. I mean, mashallah, they've worked really hard to look great, but they can't transfer the information to a client.
Exactly. It doesn't mean if you have, amazing abs and pecs that you're going to know how to relay that information to a student. And this is the problem. This is what you were saying, when they look at the Instagram and they're like, let me try to do this, I'm going to look like this guy. It's completely off.
When I came here, right, sorry to interrupt you, when I came here, right, when you told people, I'd get into a Kareem, for example, and the guy would be like, so what do you do here? I'm a trainer. Ah, captain.
And they flex at you.
Yeah, can you help me? Can you help me lose the belly, or can you help me like this? And there's so much linked to this idea that you must know what you're talking about because you look the part or you sound the part. But not everyone knows how to transfer that over, right? And that is a big scary thing for me because a lot of guys will train for 3 years in the gym. And somehow they make this decision, you know what, I look great, I want to make money and be a trainer myself. And then they get someone in the gym who idolizes the way they look, and they're like, just do my program. And they have no idea about coaching, programming, understanding people's recovery, any of this kind of stuff. And that damages the industry for everyone.
And that's my thing on classes is, yes, you can make a class as good as you can for, say, 10 individuals, but these are ultimately 10 individuals who move differently, who respond to cues differently. And, to be coaching 10 different people at a time, keeping your eyes on everyone, and they are, not the best movers going, or they sort of struggle with certain things, it's a recipe for failure, for disaster.
Especially with technical movements.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's where, like, CrossFit has an issue because, people do it for the sport CrossFit, but then there's Gen Pop CrossFit, which, in a lot of boxes I've seen, there's a blur between the two. It's like you shouldn't necessarily be doing exercises or exercises that you need to be doing in a certain way to a certain standard for an event, because you're never going to do an event. So do the movement properly, avoid injury, and don't push yourself to a level you don't need to go because it's too much of a bigger risk.
Unfortunately, a lot of men that train, and I'm going to say specifically men, have very, very big egos.
Yep.
It's surprising they fit through the door, to be honest.
Their heads don't allow them. They have to kind of go at an angle. But see, here's where I put a lot of responsibility on gyms. See, the business of fitness is a very tricky thing because we're looking to maximize the amount of money we can make in an hour.
Yes.
But if we understand the proportions of coach to client, CrossFit, any kind of group environment, it's 8-1. That is the number. You shouldn't go above that. But now you've got classes of 20 plus people with one person coaching them. And there are multiple different group class sports here that I've seen that. And I've asked, do you know and are you able to assess every single person? There comes a point where you know who's able to move. And you can almost kind of like disregard them and let them do their own thing. The problem is the people that don't know what they're doing. Like I've seen coaches do group classes where the new guy is behind the coach. And he's coaching everyone, but not the person behind him. And how do you know that person's aware? Are they moving correct? If you're doing heavy lifts, big compound movements, are you doing these dynamic things? How do you assess that? And I think this is where it takes people who care about not just their own business, but the entire industry. Because think about it, right? There could be 5 of us doing a great job, 5 of us doing a terrible job. Those 5 doing a terrible job could ruin it for all 10 of us. Because they could be working in a very cheap gym, which is getting a lot of turnaround of clients going in, a lot of injuries coming out. They could be selling the same thing that you're selling at a higher quality, higher level. But then those people go tell their friends, oh, I hate CrossFit, or I hate strength conditioning, or I hate this. And they're like, okay, why would I want to go to the gym then? It's injuries. They're going to hurt you. You're going to get, walk out there with more problems than what you're going to get for benefit. So it's a very, very tricky thing.
For sure. And there's not many jobs that you can literally screw someone up for life if they do it badly. A deadlift, a pop disc, whatever. Like it's totally undervalued. Like good coaching is totally undervalued. And when you're looking on the surface, all right, you've got someone who charges 400 SAR an hour versus 100. Bargain, go for the 100. There's a reason why they're charging 100. And that's something that I bring or have struggled with in my online coaching is, for time efficiencies and to maximize money, it would be great for me just to send the same program out to everyone. But as a personal, moral, whatever you want to call it, like I don't want to have someone go into the gym by themselves doing my program, which isn't right for them, and I knowingly give them that. So before I take anyone on, it's a movement assessment. I need to understand how they move, where they're limited, where they're imbalanced, and then can work with them on that level to sort of.
So you individualize every program.
Totally, you have to. And you see all these influencers or whoever it is with 100,000 millions followers, and buy my shred program now, and it's literally just a program, like sending out to hundreds of people, thousands of people.
The V-shred
Oh, man,
situation,
don't
right?
get me
And then you've got
started.
these Gymshark influencers who sell, like there was a female coach, massive court case against her, who was selling the same cookie cutter program to all of her followers. Massive case in America. And this is a big thing about our people selling us authentic stories. You know,
Yeah, but put a bit of responsibility on the people who are buying these programs. They have to do their research and their study and their background checks and credibility about the coaches.
But you know what's funny, right? Sorry not to digress, but I don't know if you saw the Larry Wheeler video where we spoke about he did like a heart test after all the performance enhancing drugs he was taking. But
He's not natural?
But for a very long time he was claiming to be natural. He had a video where he said he went and did a heart assessment to see how his heart was doing after 10 years of doing PDs. And I'm just like sitting there going like, but you've been selling yourself as this elite power lifter with world records. And this is the thing is, right, there are a lot of people who are doing things and trying to convince a young 16-year-old, you can look like me with eating chicken, rice, and broccoli and lifting a few times a week. Do you know what I mean? And this kid then does it and realizes, but why am I not looking like my idol? And then, again, one of the things that I saw is then people start to say, but there's a fast track. And that's where we're trying to prevent people from going, is to say either going down the performance-enhancing drug angle or the evasive surgery angle. Because I've had kids come to me and say to me, but mister, it's going to be so much easier for me just to get a gastric bypass or put a ring or go do the surgery than go train. But yeah, what's the long-term impact on your body going to be from that?
And you're not learning anything.
Yeah.
You're not learning how to live a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. Because I've met a couple of people who've had then another surgery because it all went tits up and they had to redo it because they gained all the weight back. So if your education is at the heart of everything. If I'm not educating my clients to, as you said earlier, to not need me, to not pay me money, then I've done a good job. It's got to be. Has to be. Every coach needs to do better. So if you're listening to this and you have a coach, ask them, question them, why are we doing this? What's the long-term, plan? What's the purpose?
What do I need to do when I'm not with you?
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to take another short musical break. When we come back, let's talk about the nutrition part of fitness, because I think that's a key thing as well in your coaching. So the number again before we leave, in case you have any questions, 012-6484-691, and we'll be right back. And we're back in the man cave with me, Nabil Sultani.
And me, Coach Dre, and DJ Black and Yellow. You would actually play that song sometime soon, okay? Then everyone knows exactly that's your song, okay?
And our guest is here as well.
Mafi mushkila? And we have a guest as well, sorry.
All right, so Pete, we're talking a lot about fitness. Now let's talk about the health part of it. So do you also advise your clients on nutrition, on food? Because usually for me, that's the most difficult thing for them to really follow a nutrition plan.
True.
It always is, and yes, I do, in short, but it totally depends on the individual again. Everyone is different. No one should be following the same thing. Everyone, has a different schedule. Some people, here, wake up at 4:00 in the afternoon. So it's very unique and individual. And one thing I noticed coming here is the troubles that clients in the UK would have are totally different to the troubles that clients have here. You've got sort of big social gatherings every other day, buffet style. A million burger joints at your fingertips on the Meti, whatever it is, it makes it really, really difficult to be consistent. And it's again changing that relationship you have. So, understanding your why as to why you're doing something. Why is this important to you? Why does it matter? Same thing you do with training. Why is it important? Same thing for nutrition. You've got to understand the reason why you're doing it. And there's a big, thing around sort of instant gratification versus delayed gratification. And, for me, delayed gratification, getting somewhere, hitting a, PB or getting my body to a certain shape is so much more important for me than just binging waking up late, not eating right, because you don't feel good when you do that.
You enjoy the journey.
Exactly, and you have to fall in love, as cheesy as it sounds, fall in love with the process, the journey, whatever you call it, because that's the only way to harness true sustainable results, really. And I think another thing when it comes to training, when it comes to nutrition, is everyone loves extremes. The green diet, for instance, only greens, we're going to detox, we're going to melt fat, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, because it's all marketing.
You like that one.
it's all marketing hype.
Is that one of her diets?
She's still trying to convince me. I'm joking. No, to be fair, she cooks for me, and she cooks amazing meals for me.
I was actually going to ask you, how did you manage your nutrition here in Saudi? Because I'm sure it's completely different than what you used to eat in the UK.
It is. So back in the UK, there's an app called MyFitnessPal, and you might have heard of it. And I mean, it's global, but it's easy. Count your calories, count your macros. You can, scan barcodes. It'll tell you what you're eating. It will add everything up. So it's super, super, super simple. Whereas here, when it's buffet style, I struggle with clients understanding, okay, what's what? How do I measure this? How do I do this? And so it's principles you need to execute here. It's got to be, because you can't weigh. You can't be at someone's house.
Excuse me,
and bring
this
your
man
scale.
takes a scale into the restaurant and says,
used
please bring the
used
sauce
to.
on the side. Please bring everything on the side.
I did my nutrition coaching certificate with WAG, working against gravity.
Okay.
So you have to weigh your food.
I see.
So I went the extreme as well. So I used to take my food scale to the restaurant and tell them, listen, when you do the food, don't mix it up. Just bring it separate so I could weigh it, and I'd actually weigh it.
Imagine the poor
liquid
chef.
cheese on the side.
Imagine the poor chef's like, I'm going to prepare you a meal, and it's like, you want me to bring you this? What is this?
And
Oh,
it actually
goodness.
worked. It was look, a lot of commitment
Yeah.
for these 3 months, but the change was crazy.
Do you know what it
Crazy,
is?
crazy.
And was it worth it?
It was 100% worth it. It was worth it. My wife didn't enjoy it because I'd have this scale, but it's worth it in terms of knowing what you need to eat, what you need to fuel your body with.
Yeah.
And you end up realizing that you don't need to consume protein powders and supplements and all of these
Pills were over
nonsense
Yeah.
when you actually eat proper food and you weigh it and you get that nutrition.
You know what it is, right? It's this idea of PBing in fitness has always been about the physical achievement of your fitness journey, right? But when last has someone said, I PB today, I had 3 good healthy meals. Or today I drank enough water, I didn't feel lethargic, or I wasn't dehydrated, or I actually today was able to have a proper poo. It might sound like silly things. No, but it sounds like silly things to. It sounds like silly things to PB about, right? Why should you be proud about having a good night's sleep? But the thing about it is, right, you could be lifting, 200 kilogram squat in the gym, but you might have the most awful physiology, and your eating habits might be terrible. And the thing is, we're sometimes instilling the wrong things are achievements for our clients. Is we're looking at, oh, wow, you got abs now, fantastic. But the point is, you may have, for the first time, actually felt good in the morning and ate a good, healthy meal and actually felt great and had a productive day. And that's because the fitness and the lifestyle have now merged together and you're actually feeling better.
And on the flip side to that, I totally agree. Great, you've got abs, but what's happened to your relationship with food? It's gone terrible. You're taking your scale to the restaurant with you.
He jabbed you there.
But it's true. I actually did for 3 months, and it wasn't the healthiest relationship, especially with my wife. So you're like, what the hell are you doing? We're on a date.
But see, that's the thing, right? That is the big thing about the lifestyle journey is, do you isolate people around you when you're on this journey, or do you include and bring people in?
Totally. And because you never want to make a client a social hermit. You don't want them to be miserable as they're, eating out of Tupperware when they're surrounded by their friends. You want to give them the tools, and you want to educate them so that they can do that by themselves. And, I've been in a similar position where I've sort of got into really good shape, like whatever 3-4% body fat and looked great, but to get there, you're water depleted, you're carbing up, you're miserable, and it's ultimately, is the juice worth the squeeze?
It's
And
like a 15-year-old coming to you and asking you, how much calories is in this croissant I just ate? A 15-year-old boy asking you, seriously, coming to you and saying to you, Mister, how much calories is in this croissant? And then his friends mocking him, saying, "Oh, he's gonna have to do a lot of cardio today. Oh, he's gonna look look at all the gains you're losing." And I'm thinking, right, it's a joke. But what is happening to that kid's mind when it comes to that food? Is he now going to now starve himself because he thinks he's going to lose his gains? You know, this is scary stuff in the end for young people who are being bombarded with this, especially young women as well. I had some guests who, you know, they were skinny and being mocked for being skinny, but that was their physiology. So they had to decide, what am I going to do to show off this? And they went into powerlifting regardless. But these kids are being bombarded with this information. Oh, you got to count your carbs. You got to make sure you're not eating these things. They're bad for you. And then they get this, like you said, very bad relationship with food.
Well, it's restriction. It's like no carbs. No carbs is the answer. None at all. Like, but you need carbohydrate. And whenever I tell clients this, they're shocked. It's like you need it for fuel to perform, to you know, get through your day.
One of the things when I did that 3 months of craziness, I actually ate about 50% more carbs than I used to, and I lost the weight, and body composition completely changed. So this was a huge learning that you need carbs, and carbs are good for you.
Carbs are life.
So yeah,
stick it in a sandwich.
It has been unbelievable. And listen, this is the thing, right, about radio and about having amazing guests, right, is that you get so stuck into something, and when it is an incredible guest, you just can't help but talk. Oh my goodness, why did I keep him? Why did I do this to myself? Why did I choose to do this? But anyway, me and Nabil love having guests on that really just kind of talk our talk. We love, you know, fitness. We're very lucky we didn't get into gaming, by the way, but that's maybe for another time.
Next time.
You're definitely going to hear again from Pete very, very soon. Do definitely listen in and hear from him again if you know him, if you're
Enough, Dre. How could we get in touch with you?
You horrible person.
The listeners, listen, they're going to put us
I'm kidding,
off air.
yes, they're going to. So let's do that.
So tell us, first of all, give us your final words. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
And also share your Instagram or Twitter account or TikTok or whatever you want.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for the invite. I've just about stopped having sweaty palms and a dry mouth and so on. It's been incredible, so thank you once again. If anyone wants to get in touch with me or just see what I'm about, my Instagram is probably the best way to do that. It is Pete, so Pete _ Kami, so KAMI _. So that is the best way. Apologies if there's too much bicep in there, but you know it's got to be done.
Curls for the girl.
Curls for the girl.
Glutes for
the
what?
For the girl. For the girls.
For the girls. Come on.
Listen to this guy.
You're married.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for being here. Sorry we have to cut it short. I think we need a couple more hours to continue our discussion.
Definitely.
So you're invited here next time whenever you're free. Please pass by. We could organize it together. And listeners, if you guys want to get an amazing program that's personalized to you, give Pete a DM, Pete _ Kami, KMI, on Instagram.
Do you want to give the missus also a quick shout out for hers?
He wants all the credit, man.
No, but come now. Let's be generous to the.
Come on, it's almost 9.
Come on, quickly.
How much do I have?
20 seconds.
Oh, 20 seconds.
Do you want to give her?
So my girlfriend is the wonderful Taya from Manuela. She is an amazing yoga instructor, personal trainer, and you can find her at Teratai Yoga. So TERATAI Yoga. There we go. I can spell her name. That's a good sign.
Right.
DJ Black and Yellow, thank you very, very much. Nabil, thank you. Handshake.
Thank you everyone. Have a great evening, and to the next show. Take care, guys.